everybody, it's Mikhail, back at you again with another video, an ASMR video. And today, in true performative male fashion, I finished reading a book, and it's called The Power of Now, and just because I finished talking about it, finished reading it, I'm going to go ahead and read it. Not going to read it, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and I'm going to do some tapping on it. Some page like scratching and flipping and whatnot. But yeah, if you like the video, give it a like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. All that jazz. Do you like jazz? This feels like a very niche, like ASMR thing to do, just like small channel vibe, which I am. And on that note, she's a little bigger than me or whatever, but in the scope of like, million subscribers or anything, she's still like a relatively smaller ASMRtist, and I really like her videos, so I do want to shout her out as somebody who kind of like somewhat inspired me to just like make videos that I want to make. Her name is Zhunya ASMR. She is a Russian ASMRtist, and she does a lot of different she talks about a lot of different subjects, mostly in English, but she has a very strong Russian accent, so it's nice to listen to when you're used to hearing, "Hey guys, do you want a cheeseburger?" American accents all the time. So if you are looking for a new ASMRtist or something like that, definitely check her out. And yeah, she makes a lot of language learning thing. Like yes and no. She like tries to learn a lot of languages, and she like talks about that. She like does a lot of geography and like history and things, which I'm not super interested in normally, but it's just kind of nice to listen to somebody talk about it and that they're interested in it. Sometimes it's nice to just listen to somebody talk about something that they like talking about. It's nice to watch somebody make something that they're having fun making. So yeah, anyways, let's talk about the book. So this is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I actually had heard about Eckhart Tolle like a few years ago, as I've been getting more and more into meditation. And I actually think the first time I heard it was during some kind of counseling session. And I'm just like a sensitive dude, so it was like a recommendation to me to like do some meditations by him. Also in this podcast, whatever, just I'd heard his name in the sphere, and I've been hearing about it for a while. But I actually didn't buy this book myself. Surprisingly enough, my mom, who has never bought me a book before, randomly sent this to me. And I was confused when it arrived at my doorstep, because I had just kind of moved in somewhat recently to my new spot. And I thought I had ordered some kind of video game or something, just like with the shape of it. You see it? It's a little thin, little rectangle shaped. I thought it was a game. But it was not, it was a book. And I was like, "Mom, why did you get me this?" And she was like, "Oh, I had heard about it, and I thought you could use it, because my mom doesn't know me, and I did need this." So, she had never read it. She doesn't know who this guy is, but I did know who the guy is, so it was kind of crazy. this year, and I just finished it today, actually this morning. And I highly recommend this book, especially to anybody, honestly. It's been very transformative for me, and somewhat led to me coming back. Just like I listen to a lot of ASMR still, I enjoy making it, and when I was making ASMR videos before, I overthought it. I overthought a lot of it. I was really concerned about the numbers and trying to grow, because as most people in this generation and the generation below me, we don't want to work. We do not want to go to 9 to 5. We don't want to work for the man, especially doing something that we don't like or are not passionate about. And I saw this. I do love ASMR, don't get it twisted, but I did see me creating the videos as a potential way out of the 9 to 5, and I kind of became too absorbed in that, when in reality, I just want to make videos like this. Maybe a little bit more production involved, like get some liquid sounds involved, some hand lotion sounds, get some more triggers involved. We definitely will do that as we move forward. But I talked about liking to watch people talk about things that they're passionate about. I just wanted a space to talk about what I want to talk about in a soft-spoken voice and with some whispers, and to just provide something back to the community that has helped me for years and years and years. So that's more my way that I'm looking at it now. I'm really gonna try not to look at the numbers at all, like the views at all, honestly. I'm gonna so if I'm like slow to respond on the comments more than I used to be before, it's because I'm trying not to look at it, because honestly, like, it's not deterring me from uploading like the comments themselves. I usually get like 99% positive comments, but the idea of being a YouTuber or ASMR artist can sometimes outweigh being one. Like, me responding to comments would somehow fill the space of me actually making a video. Because it's not that it's work to respond to the comments, but it is something to keep an eye out for. And just doing that, like, it didn't burn me out. It just like made me feel productive in terms of my channel, when it kind of is. But at the end of the day, people want videos. I'm almost certain every single one of you would rather a new video than your comment be replied to. I really appreciate seeing those comments, so please don't stop leaving them. But I will be a little bit slower because I'm going to be looking at the analytics a bit less this time, this comeback. Anyways, I am somebody that is extremely in my head 90% of the time. So often. And I think my mom knew that, and that is why she got me this book. I'm gonna take a little sip. Cheers. Little anime girl mug. You know me. Chamomile. I'm just kidding. Chamomile. present moment, experiencing life as it comes, not overthinking, not being so obsessed with the past and the future. A big thing about this is identifying with your mind. In the beginning of this book, he talks about what led him to kind of being more able to be in the present, and he was just like very depressed and trigger warning suicidal and things like that. But he had gone through so much pain that it kind of brought him to this point that he was so tired of it, and he just erased everything from the past and like in his mind. And not that the past isn't worthwhile or like it doesn't mean anything. It is like there can be very fond memories in the past, and I know that we all have negative things in the past. We have positive things in the past. But good or bad, in this book, it talks about the fact that clinging to that too much is bad, for the sake of like it stunts your growth forward because you are looking back too much. In the same vein though, you can do it too much with the future, which is something that I did a lot. I think I did a lot of both. I didn't realize how much I did of the past, but like who I was in like 6th grade and like the friends that I had back then, I really clung to that version of myself. I didn't want to forget those friends and the times that I had, because honestly, those were some of, like looking back, those are some of my favorite times in my life. And I felt, but see, the thing is, I'm saying I felt, but in reality, I think that I felt, because in reality, like, I don't really remember. There was probably so many other like external factors that probably made me not feel good, honestly, at the time. I was like 12. There was definitely something that I felt negatively about back then, and probably about myself and the people around me. But now looking in hindsight, I can only remember the positives. So it makes me a bit jaded. Not jaded. Can you use jaded in a positive sense? Probably. But it made me a bit like jaded and like looking at the past with rose-colored glasses, when the same way I feel negative emotions now, I probably felt negative emotions then, and probably like 5 years from now or so, I'm potentially going to look back on this and think the exact same thing and be like, damn, back 5 years ago, that was the best time in my life. And just like, when you do that, you prevent yourself from making right now the best time of your life, which it should be, because this is the only time that you have any control over, whether you feel like it or not. That's another thing about this in this book. It talks about reminding yourself that you are free, even though we most of the time don't feel like it. Like, you go to work, or you go to school, or you have assignments, or you're in a relationship that you're not happy with. You're in a relationship or your friendships that you're not happy with, and you feel stuck. But in reality, you have so much more control of your life than you think that you do. Something, as I was reading this, it didn't even say it in here, but the thought popped into my head of like, you're in control of basically everything in your life. You don't have to do anything. Don't, like, in the sense of like, you have homework, you don't have to do it, but you do have to be willing to deal with the consequences. If you don't do it, you will get a bad grade. Do you want a bad grade, or not. So the phrase of like, you don't have to do anything is not to be like, you shouldn't do the things that would benefit you, but kind of suck in the moment. It kind of takes a weight off of your shoulders because nobody likes doing things that they have to do. At least I don't. But the thought that I have a choice makes it feel a bit better. I don't want to make myself edit a super long video, so I'm going to cut it off pretty soon. I'll leave with one more nugget from the book, and honestly, I'm just going to talk about it again, potentially tomorrow, but we'll see. Don't cling to external things is something in this book. In this book, if you cling to external things, success, money, validation from other people, all those things are out of your control. You can't control whether somebody gives you validation. You can't control how much money you make, or if the money's going to stay, or even if these things feel like they're in your control, if they are outside of you, you cannot. So it's always better to just focus inward and just on the world itself, if that makes sense. Like, focus on your place in the world. That was a little not that great, but whatever. I'm gonna do like a part 2 to this. So look out for that. Also, my